Hey, what's up, Street Talks? Eric from the Eric from Street Photography blog. So I want to do a video just sharing why you're essentially not just a photographer, but you're also a visual artist. So this is the biggest issue that I think we photographers face. We have unusually low self-esteem for some reason. We think that, first of all, I can't deserve to call myself a photographer. I'm a hobbyist. And then not only that, but once you're more of an accomplished photographer or whatever, you're almost not allowed to call yourself an artist, nor do people, allowed to call themselves an artist. And probably one of the best things I learned is don't think of yourself as a photographer, think of yourself as a visual artist, because the world is such a visually fascinating place. And, instead of using a paintbrush or a drawing pad, whatever, we're using cameras as our tool. We're using the camera as our paintbrush, and we're using the camera as a way to understand the world. Now, why photography is so fascinating to me is this. Photography is the ultimate hybrid between technology and art. In the Steve Jobs, Leonardo da Vinci mode of thinking, perhaps the way we could elevate art and humanity in general is for us to combine both the arts and technology. And what holds us back is that kind of pretentious art world folks, or the whole culture of the art world is that it's still stuck in this weird romanticism notion of the French galleries or whatever, where legitimate art needs to be kind of done painfully, and it needs to be really, really difficult, and the tools and the medium which you use matter a lot, because they're essentially trying to make art so complicated that regular people don't know what it is, and therefore they're willing to shell out more money. So I've shot all forms of photography, from phones to smartphones to digital cameras, film cameras, blah blah, and ultimately what makes photography art to me, your photos are art when you imbue your soul with your images. Sorry, let me say that again. You embed your soul into the images you shoot. That means whatever you photograph, only photograph what you care about, only photograph what you're passionate about. And when you're creating images, when people look at your photos, can they get a sense of who you are, what your soul is? And I don't think this mean to say soul as some sort of metaphysical thing that exists even after you die. I see it as a pragmatic thing. I think whether your photos show your personality, how you see the world, what you find unique in the world, and also your personal aesthetics. And also what I love about black and white, especially really high, gritty, contrasty black and white, is that by embracing a very gritty aesthetic, you're actually allowed to make more optimistic photos, ironically enough. It kind of goes from the tragic Dionysian philosophy of Nietzsche, is that the greatest artist is the one who could embrace both the good and the dark, or the good and the evil. And so rather than just using color photography as a way to make everything look bright and shiny and happy, maybe we could do it opposite. Use color to photograph really depressing things, or use black and white to photograph very optimistic things. And ultimately, there's not a right or wrong aesthetic. Just do what you personally like to look at. So once again, don't think of yourself as a photographer, think of yourself as a visual artist. Better yet, don't even think of yourself as an artist, think of yourself as a child. A child likes to create things because the child is curious, likes to have fun. And so don't treat photography as this kind of painful self-flagellation thing either. You're making photos out of Thanksgiving for life, of Thanksgiving of existence. You're happy to be alive, and show more joy, more happiness, and more of your soul in your photos. And I think that's the first step. So what are your personal thoughts about the whole photographer, visual artist thing, blah, blah? Feel free to leave a comment down below, and let's all continue to thrive together. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Peace out.